Network. Nate Lundy, Shawn Drotar with you. It is a football Friday. It's also a reaction Friday as we discuss the Broncos and Panthers. It is a W for the Broncos, but Shawn, it was a little ugly.
It was ugly, but we're expecting a lot of the Broncos wins this year to be ugly. I think in some regards for the offense, it was better than people expected. Trevor Siemian, I think, had his bumps, as you would expect, but he finished the game more strongly than he started the game. He seemed poised. He seemed like he didn't get rattled. And he faced a really, really tough front seven in the Carolina defense. So I think there's a lot of promise there for the Broncos. You know they can be better than this, and you have to think that they shouldn't be much worse offensively either. So great sign there.
Yeah, and speaking of defense, the Broncos got away with some. They just did. They got away with some helmet-to-helmet hits that should have been flags. And Shawn, I'm really worried with this defense that the way they play with their butts on fire nonstop is eventually going to come back to haunt them, because I think Cam Newton got the benefit of the doubt last night in some of the calls because he's huge. And I think, in some cases he's bigger than the guys that are hitting him. But eventually you're going to be up against quarterbacks like Andrew Luck, like a Tom Brady or anybody like that you're going to get the flags and not the benefit of the doubt. And the worst part is, if you wind up with that reputation, the officials start to look for it.
Yes, and I think the officials probably already on alert, and then given the backlash over last night's game where there were especially, there were 4 that were contact there to Cam Newton's helmet, but 2 were especially bad. The one by Darian Stewart, which was sort of somehow nullified by an intentional grounding. Hard to figure out how you can intentionally ground while you're being illegally hit. But the other one by Brandon Marshall, who then kind of launched himself earlier in the game right into Newton's head, those I think are going to result in fines for sure. And I think that already puts a bit of the bullseye on the Broncos for them to understand. You take a look at where they're at, teams are going to say, hey, these guys play at or over the edge a lot. We need to maybe watch them a little bit closer. And you may get a call from the league that basically says, hey, we want you to pay a little closer attention to this team. That reputation can be dangerous, even though playing right on that edge is part of what makes the Denver defense good.
Bright spots for the team. C.J. Anderson running well. The great use of the fullback with Janovich. I like the fact that Trevor Siemian was able to scramble, made some good decisions as to when to get out of the pocket. He made some bad decisions, but he also made some good decisions as well. The other bright spot, you've got a break now before you play again, which means the too many men on the field. Yeah, we've got time to work on our counting. It's just 1 to 11, guys. It's not that hard. But lots to be able to get to. Enjoy the football this weekend. Good luck with your fantasy teams. Shawn and I will be back with you Monday morning, 7 a.m. on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1340, FM 1047, and of course all the videos and podcasts at 5280sportsnetwork.com. For Shawn, I'm Nate. Have a great weekend.